But yeah, no, hands down, Taco Mac is in the top 5. And yes, I'm talking about ranches, and I know that you.
That's just so random. We don't even have a Taco Mac.
Well, it's in Atlanta. We stopped by one time, and it was delicious. You have, like I said, Taco Mac. Your Pie has some great ranch. Wingstop, always top notch. But I would love to do a favorite 5 ranch, but you can't have dairy or anything close to ranch.
I can't even think of like 5 places that have ranch that I would be like, I've had their ranch.
Yeah. Ranch is delicious. I love ranch, but sometimes ranch does not treat me well. Speaking of ranch, Carolina, I was thinking of chicken wings. Because the Gamecocks, but that's kind of like me saying I eat our mascot. Anyways, besides the point, chicken wings are delicious. But, Carolina, I went to the game last Thursday, or 2 Thursdays ago. We filmed last. I was saying
you were on TV.
I was on TV. Yes, look at you. Yes, I was on TV. I was
like twice or 3 times.
Well, the first time I was sitting there, I was frustrated because like we had thrown a pick, and I was like, "You got to be freaking kidding me! This is an easy team we should beat, South Carolina State." And we threw a pick, and it literally cut to me and the people kind of behind me, and we're all like, "Are you kidding me?" And I'm sitting here just like ticked,
stone faced,
and so but then like 10 minutes later, Marshawn Lloyd ran it, got a massive play. He was sick, and I stood up and I was clapping, and I was just going. I was like, yeah. And all of a sudden, boom, I'm on TV. And you want to talk about, I had my phone blew up. I had people going, I just saw you on TV. Oh my gosh, you're on TV. Hey, Uncle Ed was like texting me, sent it to my mom. My mom's like, "Oh my gosh, you had great."
Yeah, the
seats.
only reason I knew you were on TV is because your mom messaged us in the family text because I was doing something with the boys.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I get this text message with like you on TV.
Yeah. I was like, what? And so everyone sent me pictures, and they were like, oh my gosh. I had people like I hadn't even talked to from like high school and like years go, dude, you're famous, you're on TV. And it was really funny because I got home and I went and showed Erin because Erin wasn't watching the game. Was the Braves playing that night? I don't know. You weren't watching the game because you were dealing with the boys and like, per usual. And I was like, see, there I am. And it was literally 2 seconds. And I was just like, people made it sound like I was on TV for like 10 seconds. But doesn't matter. Carolina won. It was awesome. I was on TV. I was wearing your dad's sick like satin jacket. Would you say that's satin?
Silkish. I don't know. It's
very
very,
vintage.
very old. Very old.
Very vintage. It's pretty sick. But I had a guy stop me and film me wearing the jacket. I don't know if it was for his like personal vlog, if he worked for the school. I don't think he worked for a school. Kind of freaked me out a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
You posed for it.
I did pose for it though.
You have to take money for those things. Come on now. People don't take pictures and videos with you without some
nowadays
monetary.
But yeah, so it was sick. It was pretty cool. I was in section 5, row 3. I was literally right behind the team. I could see them like from. It was just, I was really close. It was pretty sick. But yeah, it was a good time. And then Carolina won this past weekend against Kentucky. It was a away game in Lexington, and they were ranked. So what? Everyone has some players out sometimes. Carolina had some defensive players. They had some offensive players, so on and so forth. But we won very nicely. And we watched a video the other night, and I got teary-eyed because it was, like, really good. Tell me it was not a good video.
No, it was a very well-made video. Like, it definitely will grab your emotions whether you're a Carolina fan or not.
Yeah.
Very well done.
The guy, like, one of the coaches was doing a speech, and I was, like, ready just to knock down the walls and get going.
I need to give him my phone number so he can call me once a week and give me a pep talk. Yeah.
Erin, you're going to edit this video. You're going to do a good job. It's going to look brilliant, and people are going to love it. Yeah. I mean, I could do that.
And then, no, it's okay. It wouldn't have the same effect.
No, he was amazing. But yeah, it was a good time. I know right now the Braves are playing, And I know you really want to watch it. And thank you for watching it while we film this, because it is late right now. This is the only time during this week that we can record.
I know.
But
regardless of when we recorded this week, they would have been playing. Well, no, they played at noon. Well, they played at like 1 yesterday. They were supposed to play at 4 today, but they had a rain delay. So they didn't start till 7:30.
So all the Braves fans, you know what day it is. It's, you know what game we're talking about. But yeah, Erin's on pins and needles.
I am.
You actually handled the first loss pretty good.
Well, I handled it good because we got to the bottom of the ninth and Matt Olson hit the 3-run homer and got us up to 7-6. So they fought. They didn't just, lay down and let them beat them.
Up.
Yeah, and give up. Just we've had some trouble every once in a while where we're just not showing up offensively, and that's what happened at the beginning of the game. Max Fried had some issues at the beginning of the game and gave up some hits, and things happen, and the Phillies are a good team, and they were playing elite last night. They were playing to win. They knew this is it for them. They're playing to win. So anytime you get into postseason, even before then, when we were playing against the Mets, you have to play to win. If you're not playing to win, then why are you playing?
Yeah.
But
what can you do?
What can you do? You got to show up. You got to hit the ball. It's not all on the pitcher. Which, I mean, Max Fried did a really cool interview, owning up, to what part he took in the game last night. But everyone's like, if people aren't hitting, you can't score any, points. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
So. It is what it is. May the best team win, or, may the team that plays the best win. Whatever.
I'm going to do something. Don't get mad. There you go. I kept hearing something weird, and I think it was just, whatever. But sometimes you got to do some adjustments live.
It's all good.
We do it all the time.
Yeah.
See, it sounds a whole lot better.
Does it feel sense? Do I need to, do the whole thing over?
Yes, let's start over, please. All the cameramen. No, I'm just kidding. Saint, stay still. Captain, stop messing with the camera.
Asleep.
Lion. I'm just kidding. Yeah, they are asleep. I thought about it would be kind of sick to have them on a show, but then I would be like, that would be chaos. Because Saint would probably steal the show. One, he would probably try to do all this cute stuff. Lion would be hidden somewhere.
Yeah, he doesn't want anybody to see him. And then randomly you would see him pop up and do something.
He would be back there and pop up and we wouldn't know. And then Captain would want to be touching the cameras.
Yeah.
What does he say? He's like, cheese, daddy, cheese. Or something like that. But
I don't know. But Saint started saying cheese too. I'm like, cheese. Not even talking to him, talking to Captain. And he's going, cheese.
Yeah, but he's a goofball.
I had him climbing up the stairs today. We were getting ready for bed. And I was like, all right, up, up, up. And he went up, up, up. I'm like,
yeah.
How old are you?
Yeah. I mean,
You're not even close to 2.
Yeah,
you're barely 1.
Yeah, and he's talking more than all the other 2 put together.
I mean, no. Captain never stops talking.
Yeah, that's very true.
Now that he is on a roll, it never stops.
Yeah. Thank you, Miss Riley.
Yes. Well, Miss Simmons, actually.
Miss Simmons, Miss Riley, and Miss Carpenter, not Carter. I've been calling that poor lady Miss Carpenter to Captain, and he's literally.
No, you're saying Miss Carter.
I said Miss Carter. I've been calling her Miss Carter all semester, and Captain just has no clue who I'm talking about.
You should hear him say Carpenter. It's so funny. He'll get in the car in the afternoon and say, "Bye, Miss Carpenter," and I'm like, "What?" Well, it's so funny.
Yeah,
but that's what it is.
It is what it is. They had a good time this past weekend. We went to Edisto.
What did we do again? Oh, yeah, we went to Edisto. I had to think about it for a second.
Yeah, it's been a long couple of days. But, we went to Edisto for a family trip with your family.
My aunt passed away in June, and we spread her ashes in the Edisto waters. So.
Yeah, it was kind of, it was a very sweet moment. It was a good time to spend with family. Nothing crazy happened.
No.
Usually when you have that many people around, crazy things happen, but nothing crazy happened. We were in a house, and the kids got to play in that house, and so it was a good time. But, it was really ridiculous. It has nothing to do with your family. It was the individuals that decided to put their tree up. We're driving down the road, and I look to the left, and I see this house, and they already have their tree up with the lights on and everything. Tree up, and what I mean by that is Christmas tree.
You guys, it's not even Halloween yet.
It's not even Halloween. Mm-hmm. And these people had Christmas tree up. And I mean, I don't...
Was it on the island? I think it was like right after we went over the bridge. It was on the actual island.
I'll be honest with you. I was in so much shock. I probably blacked out and didn't realize where we were. I was so frustrated. And I mean, last episode I ran in a rave about it. I'm not going to do that this time, but that was ridiculous.
Well, they do have stuff out at Target now, which was crazy. I went...
That's so dumb.
I went to get some stuff. I don't remember why I went to Target. I went for something, and I like to look at the dollar section where I got my little pumpkins. Mm-hmm. I like to look at that little section to see what they have out, and they have Christmas stuff out, little Christmas decorations. They have the like cloths, the little themed cloths that are Christmas themed, and I'm like, guys, we're not. Halloween hasn't even hit. Thanksgiving's nowhere close, and you've already got Christmas stuff out.
It's ridiculous.
Like, you've got to sell all the Halloween stuff first, and then you have to sell Thanksgiving stuff. Are we just going to skip all the holidays and go straight to Christmas?
Yeah. Well, before you know it, they're going to go, you know what? We should probably take out the Valentine's stuff.
I know. Like, no, there'll be Valentine's stuff the day after Christmas. Day after Christmas, they'll take all the Christmas candy and put out the Valentine's candy.
It's ridiculous. It's just like, let's just slow down, live life, and enjoy one day at a time. I mean, like, I'm not even that big of a Halloween fan, but come on. Like,
I like Halloween.
I know you do. Well, speaking of Halloween, you don't even have a costume yet.
Because I wanted to be Aragorn, you told me I couldn't be.
No, we've already went through this last episode.
Apparently, he'd be disturbed if I had a beard. I mean, that probably would be a little disturbing, but it would be cool.
No, it wouldn't.
I have ideas. I have ideas.
Well, you don't have very much time.
I know.
Because we do have to film the episode for Halloween before Halloween.
So I got 48 hours.
Yeah, pretty much. Especially if you're going to order something on Amazon, you got to do it. So, anywho, but yeah.
Well, Andrew's already got his costume, and so do all the boys. So it's just me.
It's literally Erin, and Erin will probably find something, and she has to order it all, and then she'll get upset when it doesn't come in on time.
Someone seems a little bitter today.
No, I'm just a little tired. Anyways, but yeah, no, speaking of Edisto, we had ourselves a little adventure on the way up.
We talked about this. We were not going to mention it.
Yes, we were. Okay, so lovely Erin. We got in the car, and something about her and probably a lot of different people out there had to use the restroom. And if you've ever driven to Edisto, there's not a lot of places to stop. And so we're driving. The boys are being good, watching their iPads, and she is dancing in her daggum seat, like moving and shifting around. I was like, "Are you okay?" And you were like, "I have to pee." And I was just like, "Okay, well, we'll see about when the next stop is." And you said, "Andrew."
We had just passed Barnwell, and Walterboro was not anywhere.
I was literally like 40 miles away.
Yeah.
And so I was like, "You think you can hold it for 40, 45 minutes?" And you're like, "Maybe I'll try." We get to 20 minutes in. She's like, "I don't think I'm going to be able to do this." And I was like, "What?" And she goes, "I got to figure out. I might have to pee in this cup or something," because we went to Starbucks. Per usual.
No, can you not
we went
say
to Starbucks.
all of my... You don't have to, like...
I love going.
Some privacy, please?
So I was like, okay. I was like, first I said no.
There were just two. No.
At first I
said I would pee on the side of the road. And you said there were too many cars.
At the time there was too many cars.
Regardless, the point of the matter is, it almost happened. And then the moment that I was about
no.
We don't need to go into details.
Erin grabs the...
No, details don't need to be told.
Erin.
The point is, it almost happened. And then as soon as things were about to go down, there was a convenience store, and I was saved.
And the crazy part about it is we were traveling. I just got off work, so we were traveling. It was not late,
no,
but this convenience store was closing at 7 o'clock.
It was 6:50,
and it was literally 6:50. 6:50. And I remember when we pulled up, the ladies that were working were like looking at us like, "Oh, you got to be kidding me! Somebody's about to walk in here."
But Captain had to pee, so he kind of saved the day because they looked at Captain. They're like, "Oh, I guess she's got a kid, so we feel bad for him." And they don't know secretly that I'm the one that's really, 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 really got to pee. But Captain said he had to pee too, so it is what it is.
So it worked out.
It worked out.
Erin was literally 1 minute away.
I was like ready to cry. I don't
peeing in a cup. cup. And I said, just pee in the cup and throw it out the window. And she's like, no. I was like, so we're going to have a nice little cup of
I wasn't
pee in the
ever going
car?
to do it. I was just trying to problem solve. It was never going to happen. I would have made you pull over and I would have peed on the side of the road before I peed in a cup.
Well,
I was just trying to problem solve. I didn't know what to do. It was like hurting so bad. I felt like somebody had punched me in the bladder and like it was terrible. I don't have what you have where I can just whip it out and point it into a cup and aim. You can't just do that when you're a girl. It just doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just saying.
You literally just said whip it out.
I don't know how else you want me to say it.
Well.
Anyways, the point of the matter is there was a convenience store and I was saved. And even if the convenience store would have closed, like we actually found out like a minute down the road from the convenience store, there was a Dollar General.
Yeah.
Or a Dollar Tree, whatever.
What you doing?
Austin Riley just made an insane tarp catch. So I'll have to go back and watch that after.
We're recording and you're like...
Well, it doesn't matter. I just said whip it out. So it's fine.
Anyways, but it was funny because the action was about to happen.
It was never going to happen.
The action was about to happen. And literally that store was there. It literally was closing 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, we would have probably had another place to go to, but I thought it was hilarious.
I don't understand why we have to just air out some of our private things. We should have been able to keep that. That like what happens in the
Erin,
Subaru stays in the Subaru. Okay.
We have a podcast now, and that's just amazing material. So,
I'm glad that my struggles are material.
You having a pee is great material for this podcast. In the car.
Disturbing.
Anyways, but yeah, so yeah.
I was literally on the verge of crying. You don't understand the pain I was in. But it doesn't matter. It's fine. It's over.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was hilarious, and I thought it was funny. Captain thought it was funny, too.
I've never been so excited to see a bathroom before in my entire life.
I bet.
Your laugh is so funny sometimes. I feel like you didn't actually think I was funny right then. I feel like that was just a pity laugh. It was. See?
Anyways.
Regardless of what some people think I'm funny. Okay.
She's a hoot.
You know it and I know it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now the whole world knows it.
Yeah.
And by the whole world, I mean the 2 subscribers that we have.
We actually have 44 now.
Do they actually follow us now?
I don't know.
Probably not.
I mean, Seth and Silas watch.
They do. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Y'all are the best. Okay. Anyways, so I was listening to the radio the other day.
Good subject change. What were you listening to, Erin?
Well, I'm going to tell the story first, and then I'll tell people who I was listening to because I don't want anybody to get turned off just because they don't, it doesn't matter. The point is, I was listening to the radio, and the person I was listening to had a guest speaker. Well, he was just a guest on there, and they were talking because the guy who hosts the show is a big history buff, loves history, and this guy's actually a pretty famous investigative journalist. And a while back, he stumbled upon a World War II story. And it's actually probably one of the most insane stories I've ever heard because it's not about a Jew. It's not about an American soldier. It's actually about a German who was 16 years old. He was a devout Nazi. And a Christian, I mean, they went to church. You have to remember when you're thinking about these people who were devout Nazis, they were almost systematically brainwashed because what Hitler did and what that regime did is they controlled the narrative that all of their people were hearing and seeing. Stop laughing. It's the truth.
We went from UP in the car to talk about Hitler.
But listen, okay. Hitler probably arranged that whole thing for me to happen because he's evil. But anyways, the point is,
moving on.
The point is that what happened with most of the Germans in Germany at the time is that everything was controlled. Everything they heard, everything they saw, everything they believed was controlled by the Nazi regime. So their radio channels, their TV channels, what was printed on the newspapers, articles, everything was controlled. So they didn't hear anything or know anything that was happening outside of what they wanted them to know and believe.
Okay.
Well, this teenager. His name, I have it on my phone because I want to say it correctly. His name is Helmuth Hubener, which I'm saying that wrong because I did not have a German accent. He stumbled across, found a radio that I forgot what they called it. It was like a static radio or something, but it picked up a channel from Britain. So it was, I think it was BBC had a channel going on at the time, and they were speaking in German so he could understand it. They were hoping to get words out to Germany or to people in Germany, and all they were speaking is German. So this show was speaking in his language, and they were telling the truth about what was actually happening, that what he believed this whole time is not true, and that this is what's actually going on. This is actually what Hitler's doing. This is actually what's happening to the Jews. And the way this guy told the story is he uncovered this story, and I'll get on to that in a second, but it was like the veil had been torn away from his eyes for the first time. Like it was just
that he was living a lie.
Yes, it was just that moment. Like I've had it before. Not going to get into it right now because that would be a whole nother thing. Is when I finally learned the truth about things. You know, your veil's torn away. You're never seeing the same way anymore.
Oh,
you see everything clearly for the first time, and that's what happened to this kid. And that's dangerous on its own for where he was at the time.
Especially 16.
Yes.
Like, that's just a young age of change.
For me, what was so miraculous about it is he didn't just hear this and now he knew the truth. He said, I have to do something about it. So one of the most dangerous and most important things you could do at the time was write about it. So he got a typewriter and he started writing up these like posters and articles about what was actually happening and posting them all over the place at night, because he had to do it secretively, because if he would have gotten caught, you know, that would have been death sentence. And he was posting them in his church bulletin boards. He was posting them anywhere that he could discreetly. And at some point he was like, this just isn't enough. So he recruited his two best friends at the time. One was 15, one was 17, about to turn 18. And they started doing this together. And this whole time, they've obviously, you know, some of the soldiers and stuff finally caught wind of what was happening. And they thought it was some kind of like higher up person, like someone who was really smart. I forgot who they said they thought it was. I don't think it was an actual person, but it was like a type of person. I think they thought it was like some kind of college professor. That's what it was, who was doing this, but they could never find out who was doing it. Well, eventually they did, and they arrested all three of them. And they had made a pact before all this went on. They said, you know, if we ever get caught, we never turn each other in. Well, unfortunately, they had some very inventive torture methods, and he went through 6 days of torture and then eventually gave out the names. It was physical and psychological torture. And when they were going into court, they were going up against a judge who was definitely someone put there by the Nazi party, by Hitler. Like this is someone who you're not going to win in this situation. He's already made up his mind. Well, they decided they were going to go after Carl, who was the almost 18-year-old, because they could try him as an adult. And when I'm gonna look his name up again so I say it right. When Helmuth kind of caught wind of it, they all kind of just got this idea that this is what he's about to do. He basically stood up and said, no, this was all me. I orchestrated this. This is how I found out about what was happening. This is how I did it. This is me. It was me. I did it. They didn't do it. So he was sentenced to death at 17 years old at the time. He had just turned 17. I think Carl had just turned 18, actually, because they've been doing this for a year. That's what it was. But he was sentenced to death by guillotine. So he was beheaded at 17 years old.
Goodness gracious.
Yes, for, honestly, freedom of speech in Germany at the time. And the way this investigative journalist got the full story is Carl, who he essentially took. I mean, they all were part of it, but Carl, he kind of saved his life. He was living in America at the time. This investigative journalist found out where he lived, and he was in his 70s when he did the interview with him, because it was back in the 90s when he did the interview with him, and he told the story. He told the whole story to him, and I just thought that was one of the coolest stories I've heard. I mean, it's heartbreaking, but for a 16-year-old to stand up against the Nazi regime and say, well, you're doing's not right. Mm-hmm. And this is what's really happening. And he's trying to spread the words to people. I just feel like that's a really good story to hear at any point in time. Because if a 16-year-old can stand up and tell the truth, I think anybody can.
Yeah. I mean, it's an awesome story to stand up and, stand up for what you know it is right. Mm-hmm. Even though it's probably going to lead to death, and he even, stood up for his buddy instead of him getting trialed as like an adult, and who knows, I mean, could have same thing that happened to him happened to, is it Carl, you said?
Carl, yeah. Carl, I forgot the third friend's name, but he's crazy. Passed away now, but I think Carl has now passed away as well. But it was insane, but it was on the Glenn Beck show, so he was a guest on the Glenn Beck show.
Erin and her talk radio. She loves to read, she loves the Braves, and she loves her talk radio.
I do. I never thought I'd like talk radio. I always got annoyed by talk radio.
Yeah.
Like I would get in the car.
It's like me. I barely listen to music. I listen to only podcasts. And today I was working on editing, and I was like, screw it, I'm going to listen to some music. And I was like, man, this is kind of refreshing. Mm-hmm. But then I went straight back to listening to a podcast. So, but
I just remember growing up and getting in the car with my mom or my dad, and they would have, like, my dad would always listen to the one that came on 95.1 at the time.
John Boy and
Billy. He'd listen to John Boy and Billy in the morning.
Yep.
And I'm like, Dad, what are we listening to? And then
my dad would listen to it too. The only thing that really ticked me off about it is that they would talk for 5 minutes and then there was like 10 or 15 minutes of commercials. Yeah. I was just like, what's the whole point of listening to this when you're not going to, but then they would do a skit, and my dad loved the little skits they did and all that. So, see,
that's what I kind of like about some podcasts, like even Clay and Buck and Glenn Beck. They do have some commercials because they have to have sponsorships to make money, but they're not a ton of commercials. And you get like a 45.
The bigger the name you are, the less you have to do that, because more people are going to want to pay you more.
Well, I mean, they do like a 45 minute to a hour section before they even have to do a commercial, which is nice. I mean, like you said, you get on regular talk radio and they talk for 15 minutes and then it's a commercial.
Well, yeah. And it's like probably when you listen to it on the radio, it's probably like a 2 hour, 3 hour like time slot, but they literally only talk for an hour and a half because the rest of it's commercials.
It's commercials, yeah.
Speaking of, we haven't done this in a while, and I'm putting you on the spot. How many books have you read?
Oh.
So before she does it, last time we chatted, it was the very first episode. We got a number of books that Erin has read this year, not in lifetime, this year, and it was 415. I know you were asked to read a handful of books or a book or something like that and write a review on it because you read so daggone much. So
I got to be an ARC reader. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. And so, what's the number?
You want to take a guess?
I'm going to guess. Okay, so 415. We did that podcast back in August. Yeah, sure.
July.
In July, August, I'm going to say 612 books.
Well, I'm going to disappoint you. I only did 585.
585. I went above because I was just like, you probably reread some. But
I've reread several. I have a series.
585 books. Blessed assurance.
I'm so excited, though, because there's this series I've been following, one of my favorite authors. It's about to be over. The last book's coming out at the end of the month, and I've been rereading that series. But I will probably reread that series once a year because it's so good.
Yeah. Well, I'm 5-0 in my fantasy football league.
Knuckles. Look at you. Doing big things.
But that's only in one league. The other leagues I don't want to talk about. But yeah. Anywho, well,
record your wins. Just worry about losses.
So Erin's had herself an eventful couple of weeks. She fell down the stairs.
Oh my gosh! Why are we airing out all of the things I do? I don't understand.
Because you're beautiful and you're gorgeous, and some people, myself, would say there's nothing, wrong with you.
I'm clumsy.
But she's a little clumsy.
No, okay. See, I made a bad decision. I put some boots on. They're Doc Martens.
Upstairs.
I know. Okay. They're Doc Martens. I've never worn them. It's starting to get cool. I was like, okay, I'll put them on. I've never, I hadn't had a chance to wear them. Mm-hmm. So they have that like rubber sole that like
Yeah, that grips.
That grips. And I was carrying Saint down the stairs, and our stairs are carpeted. Nothing happened to Saint, okay? He was perfectly
cried
fine.
the whole time.
Oh, my God, stop.
Blood everywhere.
Oh, my God. This is why I don't take him anywhere. Anyways, so I got almost to the bottom of the stairs, and my shoe, like, gripped the carpet, and I started to fall. And, of course, I didn't want to fall because I had Saint in my arms. So my ankle took a little twisty. Yeah. Well, it's more like my foot. My ankle's fine.
So
it was my foot.
It's healing. It's doing much better. You have moments where it hurts and it's a pain.
Yeah, it hurts when I like make a certain.
Well, what'd you do to it though? Didn't you like rip a piece of bone off or something like that?
Yeah. So apparently I like sprained it, and then I had like an invulsion fracture or something. Basically, like my ligament tore a little piece of bone off, but nothing's broken. It's all good. I'm going to the orthopedic doctor next week. We'll see. I'm pretty sure it's fine. I mean, I've still been working out and doing stuff. I mean, I took a break for like 3 days. I rest. You know, I did the whole rest.
She does work out. I will say this. I wouldn't be working out. I don't actually work out. But like
if you fall off, it's so hard to get back in. Whatever.
You can probably tell.
Anyways. I had to take it easy. I had to do lighter workouts and do some moderations of things, but it's fine.
She took a tumble.
It was very painful.
It is so funny because ever since then I'll be like, I'll be like, hey Erin, and she'll be like, what? And I was like, come here, I want to show you something. And she comes down, and I walk down the stairs, and I was like, ta-da! And she's like, I don't like you right now. It's funny. It's hilarious. Anyways, at least
I'm not 34, because I probably would have just shattered my bones because they would have been so old.
You know, my ankle hurts a little from walking on the beach.
So does your hip, because you're old. That's what happens in old age.
Anyways, speaking of fall, let's jump into our favorite 5. And what our favorite 5 is we are in we are in October.
So you do know Chinese. I knew it this whole time.
Don't tell anyone.
I was saying Captain did because he watches those videos where the people are speaking in a different language. I don't know.
Yeah, anyways. Favorite 5. Let's just jump back into it. So this episode's favorite 5 is going to be our favorite things about fall, because we are in October. You know, it's one of my favorite times of the year. And so Erin's smiling. What happened?
The Braves beat the Phillies
3-0.
Yes.
Awesome. So they held it out. So
they did.
Series is even 1-1.
1-1.
When this episode comes out, we'll know if they won the series or if we're gonna be crying. I just got notified. Look at that.
Look at that.
Anyway, so favorite 5 is going to be, like I said, this is the 3rd time. Our favorite things about fall.
Favorite things about fall. This could literally be anything, so we don't even have a guideline.
You want to go ahead?
No, you're going to go first, because I went first last time.
So I'll go. Okay, then I'll go, and I'll write it down. I wrote mine down. Let me go refer back to it. Episode 10. Look at us. Episode 10.
10 episodes.
Favorite 5. All right, my number 5. The holidays that surrounds the fall time. We like Halloween. Thanksgiving is just phenomenal. And then right after Thanksgiving, you gradually go into the winter time, which is, you know, the other holidays. But, excuse me, sorry about that. But, yeah, holidays, number 5, that surrounds it. Number 4, I'm going to say comfort food.
Okay.
Because you kind of go into the chilies, you go into the soups, you have hot chocolate, you have, you know,
apple cider,
pumpkin spice stuff that people like. I've been enjoying a nice pumpkin spice cold brew lately. It's delicious. But yeah, and then you also have s'mores. I mean, this is like the time of the year where you go outside. I know you do.
I can do it this year because Linden or something, remember they have the oat milk.
They do, and it's actually pretty good.
It's really good.
Yeah. And so, yeah, comfort food, chili soups, hot beverages, s'mores, you know. Number 3, hoodies. Hands down. I like jackets. I'm not wearing a hoodie tonight. I'm wearing this. But hoodies, like you literally can throw on a pair of slacks and then throw on a hoodie and just be gone, and you don't look too bad. but a hoodie keeps you warm.
Too bad.
And we live in the South, so like when it's cold, like you better wear your hoodie because you're probably not going to be able to.
I mean, we live in the place where, you put the hoodie on in the morning, in the afternoon time you take it off, and then when the sun sets, you put it back on.
Yeah, it's pretty lame.
Yeah.
But hoodies. Number 3 is hoodies. Number 2.
Candles. Just kidding.
Actually, I don't have candles out here. I do love me some candles.
I thought your love for candles would shine through. Go ahead.
Football.
Okay.
Football starts. And so, sometimes at the end of August, college football or high school. But, you have college, NFL. It goes all the way till, the end of the year. So when you get into August, September to fall time, football is right around the corner, and I love football. Mm-hmm. I looked it up just to see what other sports, and it's like football and hockey, and never been to a hockey game.
Hockey's pretty cool.
I mean, I'm not downing it at all. It's just never been to a hockey game. So
I used to go. Is it the Lynx that used to be in?
I guess, yeah.
The
Augusta Lynx. I think you're right. Yeah.
I used to go with my dad. I'm telling you, he took me to every single sport that played in Augusta or North Augusta or the
Bell Auditorium.
Areas. Yes. Yes. If there was a sport that played in the CSRA, I went at some point. Yeah.
And so, number 2, football. And number 1, just all around the cool weather. It is hands down my favorite part, because without the cool weather, I feel like a lot of my favorite 5s just wouldn't exist. The comfort food, football, you just kind of like put 2 and 2 together, and then hoodies. And so, yeah, I know it's, not the most, oh my gosh, shocking, but that's my favorite 5. I'll read them off again real quick. I should know them. Holidays that surround them. Because as you know, I love Thanksgiving. You love Halloween. Comfort food, chilies, soups, and hot beverages and s'mores. Hoodies / jackets. I did put jackets because, you could throw a nice little leather jacket on. And then football. And then, like I said, the cool weather. And I literally went cool weather equals everything.
That's so cute. Do you still have that leather jacket with the leopard print inside?
Okay, you and the Jones boys need to just back off. I bought a jacket. It came in with the leopard print inside of it. I never wore it.
That's stories. You did wear it.
I did not wear it.
Did. Come on, Silas. I need backup here, buddy.
No.
I need backup.
Do not get Luke, Paul, or Silas involved in this.
I know Silas watches the podcast, so come on, Silas. We're literally right next door.
I bought it. I didn't realize it had leopard print. I returned it. I never wore it. Mm-hmm. What's your favorite 5 before I get upset and start throwing pumpkins again?
No, put it down. It's sensitive. It's delicate. It's fragile.
This is a real one.
Yeah, put it down. Down.
Okay. Wait a minute. Don't talk to me like I'm a
saint.
Okay. Yeah. What's your 5? Go.
Number 5, leaves changing.
Nice. I like that.
I know.
I was going to say colors changing and stuff like that, but I thought
it gives like a whole nother.
I wasn't really a dude answer, so I like the colors changing.
Well, see, like I wanted to put football, but I knew you were going to say football, and it's more of like a feeling. Mm-hmm. I don't really care for college football. I really do like watching NFL football with you.
So weird.
I know. It's honestly, it's the fans that ruined college football for me.
Sure, I get that.
Like I used to like it, and then Facebook happened, and people just Twitter.
100%.
People just got so salty. They get on there, and I'm just like, listen, guys, you either lose or you win. There's no gray area there. Like literally, at the end of the day, you're counting a W or you're counting an L.
Yeah.
Hands down, that's the end of it.
Well, and we aren't really near an NFL football team, and so you might feel the same way.
The closest we get is like the
Charlotte and
Panthers or the Falcons. And my dad was a Falcons fan, but I can't say I necessarily... I don't pull for any NFL team. I just like the players.
Yeah.
I like watching the game. It's interesting. Anyways, so leaves changing is my 5th.
Okay.
My 4th is decorations.
Cool.
So it's kind of like holidays, but, the decorations change. You go from the Halloweens to the Thanksgiving decorations and straight into Christmas decorations. And I don't know. I like always having, something out. It feels nice. It gives you, when you're driving down the road, especially during Christmas time and all the lights are up. And what I mean is, people put these up right after Thanksgiving. Sorry. So that's why I still count it. So it still is like,
Yeah, no.
It's the start. Yeah. Anyways, so go ahead.
Yeah, and I was just saying the decor that you can do for the fall can be out for a long time.
Yeah, you can do pumpkins for Halloween, and you can put pumpkins out in September and it makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyways, but that's why I kind of did what we did in the front porch. We got some pumpkins and some gourds out there, and it's pretty cool.
And pitcher.
Okay. Anyways, so my number 3 is cooler weather.
Nice.
We had the same. Nice. Like, I love waking up in the morning and it's that crisp, like, nice, cool air. You don't have the hot humidity.
And you respect your covers a whole lot more.
Yes.
Like you're not just like throwing them off. You're like just like be nice and cozy under these.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. Some of us have to wake up and get Captain ready for school.
Some of us have to actually drive him to school.
Well.
Anyways, number 2, hoodies.
Nice.
I know. We were on the same wavelength there.
Nice.
But I mean, I wear hoodies all year round if I can.
You do. Yeah. It's ridiculous. It'll be 100 degrees outside and she's wearing a hoodie and has a blanket. She has a blanket on her probably right now.
It's not on. It's just on my chair because, leather seats get kind of cold. Actually, my number 1 is blankets. I'm serious. I know.
Okay.
I love blankets. I have a thing, like, honestly, every time I go to the store, if I could buy a blanket and Andrew wouldn't murder me and bury me in the backyard, I would.
Oh my gosh. I would never murder you and bury you in the backyard.
You'd bury my blankets in the backyard?
That I would do.
That's the same thing.
Anyways,
I love blankets. I love them so much.
Did you just compare yourself to a blanket?
Yes. I don't know why I like them so much, but they're just so nice. You have different varieties. You have the smaller throws, then you have the real big ones that are like twin or queen size, and you wrap them around your whole body. And some are soft, and some are more like knit-like, and it's a nice variety of things.
Should we have a favorite 5 ways to have a blanket?
Like favorite 5 types of blankets?
I can do ranch, and you can do blankets. No. That was stupid.
I don't actually think there's 5 different types of blankets that I could choose. I mean, I'm sure there
100%
are.
There is.
There is.
But we would probably think that 3 of them are the exact same kind of blanket.
Yeah, we're not fancy like that.
No. There is one blanket you're probably using now. That's probably the best blanket in the house.
This one, I don't know. Yeah. That one over there is pretty soft too, but this one is nice. I wish it was bigger. This is a throw size.
Saint currently has the nicest blanket in the house.
I know. Actually, what's funny is that was my blanket. Remember, I bought it for myself.
How dare him?
I know. I bought it.
We now know who the favorite is.
I bought it for myself when I was pregnant with Saint. It's not true. Okay, no, we bought 2 because you were jealous of my blanket, and I had to buy you another one. I do not have favorites. Anyways, you were jealous of my blanket, so I had to buy you one. Remember?
Okay.
And then I started sleeping with said blanket.
And I sacrificed my blanket
night
to cover the boys' windows so that they can sleep in the dark.
I know we didn't have blackout shades yet, so when the time changed, he put his blanket up to accommodate.
I love my boys. I'll do it for them.
But Saint needed something that smelled like me, and he was old enough to have the blanket in his crib, so I gave him my blanket.
Yeah.
I passed the torch down.
Yeah. Well, good favorite 5. Enjoyed it. Good episode. I mean, it was a little shorter than usual, but
round of applause.
I mean, our goal was 45 minutes. I have no clue if we did it. I'm kind of looking at our timer.
I think we did.
I think we're, if not very close. We had a couple people that watched the podcast, and they said, it's a little long sometimes. And I was like, well, you try to get her to stop talking about Lord of the Rings. I mean,
you try to get him to stop interrupting me.
Well. Yeah.
I didn't even say that right because I can't talk.
That's why I have to interrupt you, because I have to help you out sometimes. Anywho, so yeah, thanks everyone for watching. It was a good one. It's a late night for us.
Yeah. What time is it?
It's
that's my bedtime.
Bless. But yeah, so thanks for watching. Subscribe to the page. Follow us. We are posting a lot on TikTok lately, and a lot on YouTube and Instagram and all that fun stuff. So, but thanks for watching. It was a good time. We have a lot of content in this one, from peeing in the car to different types of blankets and Nazis.
It's so random.
It is very random.
But I hadn't told you the story yet because I was waiting for the podcast.
And it's so funny we do that, because I'll be like, oh, babe, guess, you know what? I'll tell you at the podcast. Yeah,
I want like a real reaction from you.
But next episode, if someone gets a costume, we will have our Halloween episode, and we have 2 little cool subjects that we're going to talk about, and then favorite 5 that I think is going to be pretty cool. Can't wait. And we'll be dressed up, and it'll be torture for me, and Erin will be loving every second of it. So anywho, well, guys, thanks for watching, like I said before, and listening, especially if you're listening on Apple or Spotify. We greatly appreciate it. And yeah, subscribe, spread the word, and tell everybody about While Our Kids Are Sleeping. Thank you for, hanging out with us.
Yeah. Or don't. Keep us all to yourself.
Yeah. And tell anybody about how unique we are.
That's the word for it.
Yeah. Word.
Okay.
Anywho, well, see you later.
See ya.
I beat you.
No.
I won. Mm-mm. I won.